Hey, this is Christopher Swift from NoblePay. Just wanted to talk to you next in this email video series about rate. Obviously, if you're shopping around for a merchant account, you've probably seen all types of rates going on out there. It's pretty easy to get sucked into rate because, after all, we all want the lowest possible rate. And if I were in your shoes, I certainly would want that myself. The problem is, a lot of merchant service providers are using rate as the basis for how they're going to earn a sale. And the reality is if they have the lowest rate, more often than not, merchants do go with that processor. But there's a real way of disguising things on the back end. One thing you need to know is every merchant service provider in the country has the same level playing field. It's called interchange. So Visa or MasterCard give everybody the exact same percentages, and then we mark it up a bit, and that's how we obviously make our profit in all this. But what a lot of merchant service providers do is they really cherry pick. They pick a lowest possible potential rate in a category and offer that as the rate, knowing full well that the likelihood of you ever actually hitting that is pretty minimal. So it's a lot of smoke and mirrors, if you will. So you'll see, a rate of whatever it ends up being, 1.1% or, 1.4%, and a lot of people just assume, hey, that's my rate. And they just assume that the bank or the processor they're with is doing the right thing. And then when they get their first statements, they realize, hey, wait a minute, this isn't what I thought it was. Another thing to keep in mind as well is a few times a year, Visa, MasterCard, and the card associations, they do a rate review. And what that means is they usually increase interchange by a couple basis points. And that is a time where most processors use that for their own gain. And what they're doing is they're actually padding whatever that interchange increase is, and they're passing it on to you, the merchant, and putting a little bit in there for themselves. So that's a common thing that merchant service providers will do out there when they come in with a ridiculously low rate, is they know full well within a couple months they were able to go back and modify that for their own gain to make up for it. And if they have a contract, then now they've really got you locked in, because there's nothing much you can do about it, because you signed a binding agreement that you understood the terms and conditions going into this. So when all said and done, I guess where I'm going with this is, obviously you want to have a great rate. There's no denying that, but just be very careful when you see some of these really ridiculously low rates that are being promoted out there. There's usually something going on behind there. So NoblePay, we don't play those games. We're going to offer you a very fair deal, obviously, or else I wouldn't be talking to you with this series. If you have any questions, confusion, feel free to go ahead and fill in one of the online forms that I've sent to you to request a phone appointment with me, and we can go through all the details and explore this further. Talk to you soon.